Getting your first sewing machine can be intimidating. This video will cover basic sewing machine differences and explain common things found on the product box. First, realize sewing machines come in a wide price range. While you don't want to pick up the cheapest no-name sewing machine you can find, you definitely don't need to spend thousands on your first sewing machine. A good price range for a basic machine at retailers is about $200 to $400. Some affordable brands are Singer, Brother, and Janome. More expensive brands are Bernina, Husqvarna, Pfaff, and Babylock. For these brands, it might be more economical to look for used or refurbished. Even if it's older, you might end up with a nicer sewing machine. Older vintage machines doesn't mean out of date. In fact, these machines can be powerhouses when it comes to sewing, so don't discount them. Great places to find machines are secondhand shops, online local market sites like Craigslist and Facebook Market, and sewing machine shops. If you have a sewing machine retailer in your area, it's a great place to look for like-new, refurbished, used machines for less money. But unless it's a fully refurbished machine, used machines should be taken to a sewing machine repair shop to be serviced before using it. That costs at least $100. It's like giving the machine a tune-up and deep cleaning to make sure everything is working. Also, picking up a sewing machine in a thrift shop, you might not get accessories like different types of sewing feet, extra bobbins, or the machine manual. Most of these can be found and purchased online, but make sure you find items made for your exact model, as not all accessories are universal. If you get a used machine from someone else, take pictures or video of them threading the machine on your phone so you can use it as a reference later. Sewing machines come in two different categories, mechanical and computerized. Pretty much all older machines are going to be mechanical, but you can buy new machines both mechanical and computerized. Mechanical means machine settings have to be changed manually. They're more on the simpler side, have dials and knobs, and usually cheaper. If I change stitch types, I'll also have to change the stitch length and stitch width. Your manual will help you make the proper selections. Computerized machines will have more buttons and a small screen on the front. When selecting a new stitch, it'll automatically select stitch length and stitch width. It might also suggest thread and presser foot tension and what specialty foot to use. It's doing some of the work for you, but these machines will be more expensive. You'll also want to think about the quality of the machine. The more metal that is used in the construction of the machine, the bigger variety of projects it'll be able to handle and better quality of machine it is. Having more metal means the machine will be heavier, but it'll last longer. If you have a set place to put your machine, a heavy machine isn't a big deal. But if you plan on taking your machine to places, you might want to consider weight. Consider what type of sewing you want to do. If you want to do quilting, you'll want a machine with a larger base. For sewing clothes, you want a machine with a removable arm, plus have stitches like buttonhole, blind hem, stretch stitch, and can have adjustable thread and foot pressure. If you want to sew home decorating or bags, maybe a heavy-duty machine will be best. For most sewing projects, you really need a machine that can do basic stitches so you don't need to pay for extra bells and whistles. You can start with a basic machine and then upgrade later when you get more experience and have a better idea of what you want. Let's take a look at what you might see on the outside of a sewing box and what these typically mean. Utility and decorative stitches. Utility stitches are basic machine stitches that serve a functional use like a straight stitch, zigzag stitch, stretch, blind hem, buttonhole. A machine that has these can do a lot. Decorative stitches are used for more of a decorative element. You don't need them, but they're fun to have if you want to spruce up a hem or something. This isn't the same as having an embroidery machine, which can be very expensive. Decorative stitches have more of a simple design and are stitched in a line. One-step buttonhole. This means that your machine comes with a special buttonhole foot similar to this. You put your button in the back to let the machine know the size, follow your machine's manual for selecting the buttonhole stitch, and then press down on the foot pedal. It'll complete the full buttonhole, stopping when finished without you having to do any adjustments. You don't need it, but it does make buttonholes easy and fast. Drop-in bobbin. This means the bobbin is dropped in instead of put in a metal casing first. All machines will need a bobbin inserted for lower threading. To make a stitch, the needle loops the upper thread with the lower thread. Having a drop-in bobbin is nice, but the alternative isn't hard either. To see videos on threading a machine, see a link in the description. Thread cutter. This is usually a mostly enclosed tiny razor located on the outside body of the machine to make cutting thread convenient when you don't have scissors handy. It's usually around the needle area of the machine. It's more of a convenience, but scissors work well too. Automatic needle threader. This is also a bonus on a sewing machine and helps with threading the needle. You don't really need it as you can thread a needle manually, but I do recommend it if you have hand dexterity issues or poor eyesight. Adjustable stitch width and stitch length. Stitch length means the length of individual stitches, so adjusting them means to make them shorter or longer in length. For example, delicate fabric like chiffon might have a small stitch length, while heavy denim might have a longer stitch length. Stitch width is how far the needle moves side to side. If you're doing a straight stitch, this number will be at 0 because you don't want the needle to move to sew a straight line, but you'll adjust this if you want to sew a zigzag stitch. Adjustable foot pressure. This means how much the foot is pressing on the fabric. Depending on the thickness of the fabric, you might want to adjust the foot's pressure. With normal sewing, you don't adjust this very often, but it's nice to have the option. Same with thread tension. Free arm. This means part of the lower base comes off. This is great when sewing things like hems on sleeves and pant legs, so you slide it directly onto the base. Otherwise, you need to lie it flat on the base, folding part of it out of the way and keep adjusting. The removable part also usually doubles as an accessory storage box. Drop feed. Under the presser foot are the feed dogs. These feed the fabric through the machine. Sometimes you don't want the fabric to move, like when sewing on a button or doing free motion sewing like quilting. Drop feed is a nice bonus because you have the option to drop the feed dogs down. Just remember to put them up again or you'll wonder why the fabric isn't moving. Adjustable needle position. This is handy for when you need to shift the position of the needle. Sometimes when using a zipper foot, you'll need to adjust the needle to a new spot, or you're sewing a trim like piping and you want your needle to be closer to it. Twin needle capable. This is nice if you want to use a twin needle for creating professional looking hems. You can find these needles with other needles in the fabric store and they're inserted easily. You don't need this, but they're nice if you want to sew clothes. Here are common accessories that come with a sewing machine. All-purpose/standard foot, zipper foot, buttonhole foot, either one step or regular, button foot. Plus, you should get a small screwdriver, a brush, sometimes there's a seam ripper inside. The brush is good for grabbing and cleaning lint out of the machine to keep it in good working order. To see a video on using the brush and doing a simple cleaning of your machine, see the link in the description. You might also get a second spool pin and spool holder for twin needle sewing and extra bobbins. I know it seems like a lot, but your sewing machine will be one of your most valuable tools and you'll want to make sure you'll get the one that'll work for you. Our book, Professor Pincushion's Beginner Guide to Sewing, Garment Making for Nervous Newbies, is now available to order. Go to professorpincushion.com/books or click on the link in the description to see a list of vendors where you can purchase it.